the question is about to live as it. And this is my heart's desire, that I would like to live as it. And I test it in my life. My life is testing me as well. But today, in the meditation, you said something, I cannot recall it perfectly, which made my mind active. It was something like the being, the I am, cannot directly experience the manifest word. And
the infinite cannot know the finite directly.
The finite directly, yes, that was it. And I really feel the difference when I am, and then this subtle joy what comes, or the relaxation in my body, this is already the mirroring, the reflection of the mind of it. But I really practiced, I opened my eyes. So if I close my eyes, it's easy or easier just being. And if I open, I see the world like a hologram or like a film, and simultaneously I am. It happens. And my mind thought that there is a separation. Rupert said that it cannot be directly experienced, so that only a jump is possible. And I feel that it's not right, but my mind is working since the morning about that.
No, what I mean when I say that infinite cannot experience the finite directly, but by the finite I mean, for instance, the sight of this room, that's a finite appearance. And we are all experiencing this room not with our finite mind, but through our finite mind, through the faculties of perception.
Yeah.
So that if we ask ourselves, what is the nature of the knowing with which we know our current experience, then that knowing itself is infinite. It's not finite, but it cannot perceive the world directly. It can only do so through the perceiving faculties of a finite mind. Because what would the world look like? What would your experience of the world now be if you were not to perceive it through seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling? What would your experience of the world be? No,
nothing. A being.
You would. There would be no experience. If you remove thinking and perceiving from you, if you consciousness remove thinking and perceiving from your experience, all that's left is your knowledge of yourself, the awareness of being. When you put on the glasses of thinking and perceiving, you refract yourself into the world. You appear to yourself as the world, because you're now looking at yourself through the lens of perception. It's like looking at white snow through orange tinted glasses. The prism, think of thinking and perceiving like a VR headset or a prism that consciousness, as it were, puts on. So all there is consciousness, that the one infinite reality. But when consciousness puts on the headset, the VR headset of thinking and perceiving, it now refracts itself into 10,000 things, because it's looking at itself through the prism of perception. And if the prism is tinted orange, the world will appear orange. If the prism is tinted in the form of seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling, the world will appear in the form of sights, sounds, tastes, textures, and smells. It's...
Oh, I get it. I experienced this prism from the other side, but never from this point of view.
The prism is the thinking, perceiving faculties through which the one reality fragments itself and simultaneously localizes itself within its own imagination as an apparently separate subject of experience, and looks out at itself through the prism of perception and sees itself as a world. But in order to see itself as a world, it's had to localize itself as a finite mind. It's had to forget itself. It's had to ignore itself. So that's why we think I, this temporary finite mind on the inside, is looking at a world made out of matter on the outside. That's a complete illusion. The inside self and the outside world, they're co-created, they arise together in infinite consciousness.
And can I remember?
Yes, everybody retains the memory of their true nature, of their eternity within them.
And is it a jump, or is it possible to walk when I walk and being?
Sorry, I didn't understand that. Say that again.
Is it possible to live it simultaneously?
Yes, absolutely.
Your yes is important, because this is what my doubt was about.
It's possible to live it. What you have to understand is that our thinking, perceiving faculties are like a screen that separate the perceiver from the perceived, the knower from the known. So this division into two is just brought about by the act of thinking and perceiving. So you have to override the evidence of thought and perception. Thought and perception are just the colored goggles that you're wearing. You have to see through that. What you said earlier, you experience the world as if it were a hologram. It appears to be solid, made out of numerous solid things made out of matter, but you as it were, you see through that to the reality that's really there. It's like seeing through the movie and seeing the screen, seeing the reality of the movie. It's the screen. The best analogy I know is the dream analogy. When you fall asleep at night and you have a dream, you don't experience the dream with your mind asleep in bed. You overlook your mind, you forget your mind. Your own mind divides itself into, I'm sorry, I have to bring in Mary and Jane now. Mary falls asleep in the Vedanta, and she dreams she's Jane walking on the streets of Paris. That Jane, from Jane's point of view, we're all Jane. From Jane's point of view, she feels I'm on the inside, I'm mind, and on the outside, it's matter, because she looks at the streets of Paris through her perceiving faculties. So she feels her experience, Jane's experience, is subject-object, self and other. It's all Mary's mind. And in Mary's mind, there are no divisions. There's no inside or outside. But Mary's lost herself. She's imagined the streets of Paris within her mind and simultaneously localized herself on the streets of Paris as an apparently separate subject of experience. I would suggest consciousness has done the same, except that unlike us, when we have a dream, we localize ourselves as one person in the dream. Consciousness localizes itself as numerous different viewpoints within its own dream, through whose perceiving faculties it perceives itself as an outside world. So you have to override the evidence of sense perception. Jane has to realize that who she really is on the inside, namely matter, namely Mary, is exactly the same stuff of what the world really is. That's also Mary. It's equally Mary's mind. There's no real separation between Jane and the streets of Paris. The separation is just an appearance created by her perceiving faculties. It's all made out of this seamless substance of Mary's mind, which cannot be found anywhere in the time and space that seem to be real from Jane's point of view. So likewise, the time and space that now seem to be real from our point of view do not exist in consciousness. Consciousness is eternal and infinite. That means not in time or space. It has no dimensions. It's just our thinking and perceiving faculties that make the infinite look finite, that make the eternal look as if it appears in time. So there's no time or space in reality. Time and space are just the way reality appears to our finite minds. Time and space are not out there. They're in the mind.
Sometimes I'm happy that I'm lost in it, because I wanted to go into this movie. I bought the tickets. I want to play this game. But sometimes it's so nice to look into somebody's eyes, and I look into my own eyes, so that I look through that. And
yes.
this is just like an aware dreaming.
Yes, I would suggest that everything the apparently separate self does in the waking dream, it does for the sole purpose of being divested of the illusion of separation and returned to its true nature. Everything the separate self does, it does for that reason alone.